beginning to look a lot like video games. Let's talk. What up, viewers? What up? What up? Today is Friday, December 6th, and that means it's time for a quick recap of the week in video game news. First big thing happening this week is the prince that was promised, Path of Exile 2, is launched onto early access for those people who bought into it, or is it free to play? I forget how the people get access to the early access, but I think there's a paid way to do it. I've never played the original Path of Exile, but it is apparently Path of Exile 2 is kind of set up to be a Diablo killer. So I know a lot of my Diablo friends are excited for it, and a lot of other people are excited for it too. I saw that there's going to be a queue. They've already got 1 million players. So yeah, like I said, there's a lot of people vying for probably very small server space, as Path of Exile 2 is on early access, but seems like there's demand for it. And if you aren't waiting, you could watch this while you're waiting in the queue, or you could do all the other YouTube engagement stuff. Anyway, let me know if you picked up Path of Exile 2, or if you're playing it right now, what you think of it so far. Moving right along, next week is the launch of Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. This is the Machine Games Indiana Jones game. It's currently got, it looks like the review embargo is up, so it's got an 88 Metacritic across several big reviews sites. It sounds like it's a very authentic game, and it goes with a narrative. I always, Machine Games is very highly regarded, especially with the most recent Wolfenstein game. So, I didn't think like the gameplay would be all that bad, or but I've also never been like a big Indiana Jones guy. So I know a lot of people are excited for this one. It looks like it's reviewing pretty well, and people are liking the kind of narrative, and it doesn't sound like it's a cash out, and it's authentic. And I assume with Indiana Jones, you can find a bunch of passionate developers who care about the IP, especially nerdy people who work at Machine Games. So I'm excited to see that all the ducks seem to be in a line for Indiana Jones, which is going to be big next week. I might actually pick it up and play around with it on Game Pass, because I assume it's going to be on Game Pass. So looking forward to that. Seems that nostalgia is a very strong force, strong enough even for a very young game like Fortnite. Fortnite launched OG version, kind of like a Fortnite classic, if you will, this week, and it's already got it got like 1 million players in like the first 20 minutes or something like that. So, yeah, a lot of people are playing or want to go back to the good old days of Fortnite, and none of this no builds and all that kind of stuff that's going on nowadays. None of the IP. It's just classic Fortnite with that skeleton skin that everybody probably still wants. So, yeah, apparently even Fortnite, which is only 7 years old at this point, is looking to cash in on the nostalgia of it all. So I think it's still a little young, but Fortnite's got a bunch of different modes. They want you to be engaging constantly. So a classic mode seems like another way to kind of get back some of those classic gamers that want to play Fortnite OG. So if you're looking for that, check it out. I'll have a link down below in the description. And another big game launching this week, free to play, Marvel Rivals. This is Marvel's Overwatch-like, and it had a closed beta, I think, a couple months ago. And yeah, I think a lot of the people who are looking for a new Overwatch, I've been looking to this game, and it sounds like people are really excited for this one. And the NetEase is giving out skins, and they want people to really engage at this initial spot. I heard it's a little bit grindy, but I haven't hopped in yet myself to see kind of how that all works out. But yeah, there's like 33 characters at launch, so really big roster. And yeah, I think if I were to pick up a multiplayer shooter to play with my friends, it's probably going to be this one. So I'll have to pick that one up soon, but I haven't picked it up yet. We also had a big showcase this week. The PC Gamer Showcase was there was a PC Gamer Showcase this week. It had a bunch of AAA games like Judas, Control, and Perfect Dark, which I'm all of which I'm very excited for. Control 2, which I'm all very excited for. There's also some smaller games like I was just talking about it. Tomb Water, is that the name of the game? I think the name of the game is Tomb Water. Yep, Tomb Water, and it's a 2D Souls-like. So you're dodge rolling and trying to uh, beat up bosses before they can beat you up. And yeah, that one kind of caught my eye. Also, it's kind of cowboy inspired, so with a name like Tomb Water, hopefully that was somewhat implied. But yeah, it feels very yeah, it's a really interesting take on the Souls-like genre. Again, 2D or not quite 2D, like isometric feels a little weird for it, but it did have a really cool aesthetic that caught my eye. There's also another game called Spacecraft, which sounds like the prequel to StarCraft. And we don't quite know much about what it is, but it is apparently highly anticipated according to PC Gamer. So that's why I was in their showcase. There was a ton of games talked about at PC Gamer. So if you feel I forgot any, feel free to comment down below or in my Discord, where I'm always happy to talk gaming news in there. Ubisoft is not having a good time of it. They've been kind of struggling with the Assassin's Creed games and doing this kind of once every 2 years and trying to get back to the big tentpole Assassin's Creed games. They've also did a big miss on Skull and Bones, which took way too long to develop, and then kind of missed and was delayed out the gate and all that kind of stuff. And now it looks like Tencent is looking to step in and buy them. I always thought that, of the big companies, we've already seen Activision Blizzard purchased, which was one of the, top 3 gaming companies out there. EA is still kind of big enough that they don't need any, like, I bet it's going to take it would take a big deal. It would be like an Apple or something like that would have to come in and just kind of swoop up them. So EA is still kind of standalone. Activision Blizzard's already been purchased. Like Ubisoft is the next domino to fall. And I bet their stock price isn't as high as it was, half a decade or even a decade ago. So I can imagine that some big company looks, and they've even confirmed it with several articles this week, that Tencent is looking to kind of invest in them, and I know that the leader of the company is trying to still maintain control over it, even with Tencent rolling in and trying to take it over. So feels a little Vivendi-esque, where Ubisoft was a subsidiary of Vivendi for a second when Vivendi was going out and buying pieces of every video game company. So they know at least how to avoid a big corporate overlord, but Tencent might be able to put the nail in the coffin and roll them in. And yeah, I'm curious what Ubisoft would look like, with a big Tencent corporate overlord. So curious what that's going to look like. Speaking of Tencent overlords, League of Legends, or Riot as it were, is looking at making a physical card game. Now you might be wondering, hey, that sounds pretty cool. I like Legends of Runeterra as much as the next guy. And that would be a really cool thing to kind of take from digital and put into physical. Except for that's not what they're doing. They're making a whole completely new, different trading card game going up against the likes of Magic and Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! Riot looking to get in there and steal someone else's cred. So yeah, I think they're going to use some of the, it sounded like in the video I watched, they're going to use some of the card design and some of the features maybe of Legends of Runeterra, but they're not just making a physical game of the Runeterra card game digitally, the Runeterra digital card game. So why it's not a 1-for-1, I don't know, but at least maybe that gives them a little bit more creative space to kind of develop how they want, and maybe even develop into sets, and they want to be able to roll out different stuff like that. Maybe that's why they want to do it. But yeah, it's not just a 1-for-1 port of Runeterra, which I think is a little weird. Speaking of physical cards, Balaltro announced this week, or Fangamer announced this week, that they will be doing a Balaltro card set. And you might be asking yourself, wouldn't the cards from Balaltro just be a normal deck of playing cards? And to that I say, hey, shut up, it's only $16 and you can have the Balaltro cards physically. So yeah, check that out. I'll have a link down below. As someone who is constantly craving a mini fridge but doesn't actually own one, I saw a pretty cool discount at Walmart Walmart's selling some mini fridge, some gaming IP mini fridges for $30 or $29 on their website. The Minecraft Creeper version um, is big discounted. It's like $150, and now it's down to only $29. And then the classic Xbox, Xbox refrigerator version is also down to $30. So if anybody's listening and looking for something to get me for Christmas, those would be perfect gifts. Or at least the Xbox One. I want the Xbox One. Don't give me a Minecraft Creeper. Give me an Xbox One. Last but not least, Baldur's Gate continues to release awesome content in their patches and updates. The big one that's coming next year is they're adding another set of subclasses. So for each of the 12 different classes in Baldur's Gate, there are 3 subclasses, and now there will be a 4th. They're adding things like the Beekeeper Ranger class, and they're adding like the I think the Spellcasting Barbarian class, and there's a different Bard College. So anybody who's looking for a new reason to play through Baldur's Gate 3, which is an amazing game that you should play, that could use another playthrough probably. There's more ways to play and more combinations of party members to work through. So I'm really interested in what these new classes do and how they mix it up and make it feel unique. So looking forward to that sometime next year. Might actually get me to play through Baldur's Gate a 5th time maybe. So I'd be interested to see how those kind of mix things up. But that's it for this week. Let me know if you feel I forgot anything down below in the comments. But as always, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy this content. If you do, please follow, like, and subscribe to me on YouTube and Twitch so you can see more great content like this. I'll have links down below in the description. Thanks again. I hope you have a super day. I hope you have a super weekend. And I hope you have a super day. Bye.